Tonight, a group of local councils takes its fight for a better Port Wakefield intersection to the feds. And Southern Cross News gets an exclusive first look at Broken Hill's new hub of healthcare.
This is Southern Cross News with Fraser Goldsworthy.
Good evening. A council alliance has taken its fight to improve Highway 1 near Port Wakefield to Canberra. The Yorke Peninsula councils are looking to secure both state and federal funding in a bid to upgrade the troublesome area.
Lobbying to improve traffic flow and safety for all motorists travelling through Port Wakefield. Councillors met with the Office of the Deputy Prime Minister and the Minister for Infrastructure, Michael McCormack, today.
To lobby the federal government for funding for the Port Wakefield overpass, as well as the additional work to duplicate the highway, National Highway 1, from just south of Port Wakefield to just north of the turn-off of the Copper Coast Highway.
It's a big project and it comes with a hefty price tag.
Total project value is around the $70 to $75 million mark.
The group hopes to secure thousands of dollars from the federal government, with the state government already committing to funding half of the overpass.
Around $12 million to an overpass, which is roughly half the funds for that. And they're proposing that the federal government contribute the other half of that project.
The notoriously dangerous intersection is in desperate need of an upgrade. Another car accident causing more traffic delays over the June long weekend.
The last holiday period, there was one car accident, unfortunately, there on that weekend. That did have a big impact on cars being able to get through Port Wakefield.
Is absolutely critical and goes hand in hand, particularly for those long weekends when Port Wakefield is a bottleneck.
Rachel Nell, Southern Cross News.
Police have seized drugs and weapons from two homes in Port Pirie. At one property, police located around 5.6 grams of MDMA, drug paraphernalia, cannabis and capsicum spray. At the second, police found cannabis, methamphetamine, fireworks, a taser and a baton. Three people aged between their mid-20s and 40s were arrested and charged and will face court. Meantime, a teenager will face court next month after a search of a Whyalla home uncovered drugs. Just before 4 p.m. on Saturday, police searched the property in Cleeman Street. They say they uncovered quantities of methamphetamine and cocaine, as well as a number of LSD tablets. A 17-year-old was charged with a string of offences, including trafficking a controlled drug. He will face court next month. A report from the Energy Watchdog shows our trust in energy retailers is declining, with many now turning to renewable storage. The state's energy minister says something needs to change, with the local region having a role to play in energy security.
Our region knows the ups and downs of the energy market all too well. The closure of the coal-fired power station at Port Augusta became a political football, as prices and reliability came into question. And according to the latest energy regulator report, our faith in energy companies is diminishing. That's something the state government wants to see change.
It does make it clear, I suppose, what we all knew anyway, which is that there's not nearly enough competition in the electricity market.
It shows consumer confidence fell to 25%, while trust in the sector fell to 39%. Many have taken matters into their own hands with solar and storage options, something the government is keen to see continue to grow.
So that they can choose if they're going to generate solar energy and save it and use it themselves or put it back into the grid.
And we're in prime position to take advantage. With up to 300 days of sunshine a year, households are rapidly taking up the technology, while other companies are setting up plants in the region.
We have such a wonderful solar resource that households which have solar in their roof and household batteries are better off than probably anywhere else in the state.
John Hunt, Southern Cross News.
Southern Cross News has been given a first-hand look inside the new multi-million-dollar Broken Hill Community Health Centre. It comes ahead of an open day this week, which will give locals a chance to have an up-close look at the facilities.
From a barren work site to a modern health complex.
You can't tell that it's come in pieces and been reconstructed on site.
Southern Cross News was given a sneak peek of the Community Health Centre this morning as the final touches are put on the building.
So the ground floor has all of the clinical areas and service areas. So Child and Family Health Service will be moving in, the Integrated Violence Prevention Service, the dental service will be moving from Morgan Street School into the building.
The dental facility is a major improvement from the current setup on Morgan Street. It'll feature 5 chairs, including shared rooms for students. Community nurses and the Sexual Health Service will also be moving in. On the top floor is where admin staff from Kincumber House will set up shop. Plenty of offices, meeting rooms and panoramic views from the staff balcony.
Between now and 2nd of July, obviously services are moving in, so there'll be a bit of disruption to the existing services while staff are packing and moving from one spot to the other.
The centre is part of a $30 million redevelopment of the Broken Hill Health Service. Once everyone is settled in at the new base of operations, Kincumber House will be demolished and the upgrade work at the hospital will commence. An open day at the health centre will be held on Thursday.
If anyone's got questions about how the services might operate or how to get in or where to find things, then it's a good opportunity for people to just come and have a look. So we're hoping a good crowd comes.
Patrick Reinke, Southern Cross News.
After 28 years of operating in the Silver City, Big W has closed its doors for the final time. Dozens of staff members gathered at the store, sharing memories of their time together and even shedding some tears last night. As 5 p.m. rolled around, the 3 longest-serving staff members closed the security doors together. It's still uncertain what will replace the retail giant. For now, though, the space will remain empty. After the break, the initiative helping to reduce pollution on Port Lincoln's iconic coastline. The story next. A Port Lincoln woman has been caught drink driving on Friday night after allegedly returning a reading double the legal limit. The 42-year-old woman was stopped by police on Liverpool Street, where officers say she recorded .1. The driver has lost her licence for 6 months and will face court. The Environment Department has today launched the 40th year of its aerial surveying program of kangaroos. The survey will cover 230,000 square kilometres of regional South Australia, where 2 trained observers will count kangaroos in 200-metre strips. Kangaroo experts say the data collected will help them assess the impact a dry 12 months has had on population numbers. The survey will wrap up in mid-July. The amount of rubbish and debris in our oceans and on our beaches is a growing global concern. A new initiative spearheaded by Natural Resources is looking to tackle the issue through a beach adoption program in order to maintain a clean coastline.
It's a sad sight on our local beaches. The reality is that our beaches are littered with rubbish and debris, and there's a decade of data to prove it.
For 2 separate places on our peninsula, we've got a decade of data now, and they're our long-term monitoring sites.
Plastic remains one of the biggest concerns.
It does vary from time to time, but as people can imagine, there is a lot of plastic in this mix.
The hope is to get records of the 6 different rubbish categories across our peninsula beaches, from Fowler's Bay all the way to Whyalla.
So what we're asking community to do is to contact us and adopt a beach.
The Adopt a Beach program will see groups and individuals learn how to record marine debris so it counts on a national database.
The national database is actually all online now, so it's through a Tangaroa Blue Foundation, and it means that we're part of the bigger picture.
With many community members already collecting rubbish and marine debris from our local beaches, it's hoped they can now get on board with this national program and inspire others to do the same.
There is a little bit of a process involved, but if you're already collecting, you're already halfway there. So it's just refining at the end of your collection what you've got in your mix and then reporting it through to the online system.
Casey Trelaw, Southern Cross News.
An eerie science fiction play has stopped off in Port Augusta, which is sure to quench the thirst for lovers of thrillers. Terrestrial covers the story of an alien-obsessed teenager who moves to a remote South Australian town and meets a like-minded friend who then disappears unexpectedly. Actors in the production say the play is a mysterious and alternate look at life in rural communities. The play will wrap up its tour run with a finale at Glebe Creek tomorrow night. Looks great. Still to come tonight, Whyalla launches a cuttlefish festival. All the details next. Welcome back. Local member Jeff Brock has today signed and sold the 100th copy of the biography of his life by local author Greg Mayfield. Kenneth Gould, who has lived in Port Pirie for many years, was the lucky 100th buyer today and even had a mention in the biography.
I thought it was fantastic what I said about Mr. Brock, so he put it in the book, and I'm interested to see how it went. Yeah.
The biography, titled Jeff Brock, the man who saved the city, discusses the huge impact he had with the negotiations over the Nyrstar lead smelter and his life as a young child. The Port Augusta Council has released its final report into the quantification of the Central Oval Sporting Complex. The report will help inform the Council and make some recommendations as it assesses the future management and operations of the facility.
The latest operations meeting of the Port Augusta Council brought many questions to the table. One that was met with much interest by a packed room was the future of Central Oval.
We have the asset, and now how do we maximise the asset? How do we actually pull apart everything within it, understand who's using it, why they're using it, what are the costs involved in using it?
The report aims to look at the current business model of the complex and make adjustments to achieve efficient use for the entire community.
Reduce the overall cost of the facility back to the community itself, but make sure we also maximise the benefit of that facility for the broader community as well, not just one or two individual sporting groups.
The council says high use of the facility by a number of sporting clubs and schools means maintaining the quality of the complex is a necessity. The quality of the Oval's worn turf is a reoccurring concern.
There's a number of schools, for example, that actually hire Central Oval for their sporting days, and unfortunately one had to cancel due to the condition of the Oval.
Also up for discussion is the issue of nearby Hancock Stadium. A decision will be made in the next 12 to 18 months, where the council will accept responsibility for the courts.
There's obviously a lot of costs associated in doing that. Some of the scoping work that council has done already does highlight that there's quite a significant amount of capital investment required.
The long quantification process is expected to progress over the coming months. Garth Burley, Southern Cross News.
The annual aggregation of cuttlefish near Whyalla is being celebrated over the next month with a new festival. Cuttlefest will feature displays and documentaries along with snorkelling opportunities with the famous creatures.
The cold winter months are a hotbed of activity in Whyalla, as thousands head to Point Lowly to dive with the cuttlefish. The creatures venture exclusively to the area in their thousands to breed. Whyalla Council is backing a new initiative called Cuttlefest, which will put these mysterious animals in the spotlight for the next month.
It's really important to bring our community into this and bring the rest of the state into this. It's an exciting event, very, very pleased to see it happening.
A display has been set up in the Whyalla Library, which is focused on marine life in the area. On July 4, the Middleback will host a screening of the documentary Blue the Film about marine life. July 7 will see Mount Laura Homestead host experts for a Curious Cuddles Night. That'll discuss the animal and its unusual behaviour.
It's very important to make sure that they stay there, very important to bring the attention of everybody, the importance of them and how fragile they are.
The big feature, however, is the guided snorkel tours, over 5 dates from June 30 until July 9. Experiencing marine sanctuaries will take residents out on a journey to see the animals in their habitat.
Probably a lot of people that have never ever seen the cuttlefish in Whyalla. This is an opportunity to get involved, and I hope that this will develop further.
John Hunt, Southern Cross News.
To local footy now, and the Central Broken Hill Magpies have secured a vital victory over West at the weekend. Patrick Reinke joins us now, and it was a game the Black and White needed to win, Pat.
Yeah, Fraser, both Central and West came into the round 7 clash with 1 win apiece. Whichever side prevailed would steal outright third spot and a potential prelim final berth. In some blustery conditions at Jubilee Oval, both sides struggled to hit targets and hold marks. The Magpies gained the upper hand across the first quarter, booting 3 goals straight. Bongo Heath and Jason Maslett were seeing plenty of the Sharon. West rallied through the likes of Liam King and Nathan Greenshields to trail by 7 at the main break. The game became a tussle, with Central managing to kick away before West fired back with 2 quick majors. Despite the chilly conditions, tempers were flaring and the game was heating up. Central's defensive line of Heath Harris, Zayden White and the ever-menacing Matt Sullivan ensured the Magpies would hold their lead going into the final quarter. The Black and White ran the game out strong, tagging on another 3 goals, while West could only muster 2 behinds. Robbie Bates had a day out for Central, slotting 4 sausage rolls. Matt Nelson and Sage Hocking put in commendable efforts for the Robins, but it wasn't enough. Central finished as the 28-point victors. And in the second game, South continued their dominance over rival North, downing the Bulldogs by 71 points. Congratulations to Mark Purcell on playing 150 games. Heading over to Port Lincoln, and Lincoln South only managed to score 2 points during their loss to Marble Range. Tasman got their 5th win of the season over Mallee Park, and Wayback thumped Boston in a one-sided affair. In the SGL, Central Augusta upset Port, South Augusta stayed undefeated against Prop Brisbane, and Solomon Town downed West. And in the Steel City, where it was wins to Wieroona Bay, West Whyalla and North Whyalla, and in the northern areas, Crystal Brook, Broughton Mandurah and Orroroo all reigned supreme. So Fraser, that does it for a massive weekend of local footy action. I'll be back tomorrow night to wrap up all the other sports from around the regions.
Good on you, Pat. Patrick Reinke in Broken Hill there. We'll stay with us after the break. Amy has your weather details. And Amy, it was fine, if not a slightly cooler start to the week.
Yes, it certainly did feel a lot like winter around the region today. All the details are up next. After a cool night, maximum temperatures didn't get past the mid-teens today around all centres. 15 the top in Port Augusta and Port Lincoln, 14 in Whyalla, while Broken Hill only reached a high of 12 degrees. Taking a look at the satellite now, and patchy cloud over the southeast is causing a few showers. Skies are clear elsewhere under a building ridge of high pressure. If you're out on the waters tomorrow, northerly winds will shift northwesterly and pick up to 20 knots with seas reaching 1 metre. Sunrise is at 7:23 while it will set at 5:17. Looking at tomorrow's forecast, and it will be another night of cool temperatures before most centres fine up during the day. 15 in Whyalla and Port Augusta, while Coffin Bay could see some showers and a top of 14. Heading towards the end of the week, and showers predicted in Port Lincoln with a high of 18 on Friday. Cleve could also see some wet weather, as will Woodner, with temperatures sitting in the high teens. Some cloudy skies around Whyalla in the coming days, however it will fine up by Friday. Port Augusta will also experience a mostly sunny 19 to round out the week, while Kadina can expect possible showers and 17 degrees. Possible showers for Port Pirie midweek before a fine 18 on Friday. Maximum temperatures in Clare won't go above 15 degrees this week. And in Broken Hill, a mostly sunny week ahead with a top of 16 by the end of the week. So while it's likely we'll see some showers this week, it's looking like a fine start to the weekend.
Thanks, Amy. A look at tonight's top stories now. A council alliance has taken its fight to improve Highway 1 near Port Wakefield to Canberra. The York Peninsula Councils are looking to secure both state and federal funding in a bid to upgrade the troublesome area. After 28 years of operating in the Silver City, Big W has closed its doors for the final time. Dozens of staff members gathered at the store, sharing memories of their time together and even shedding some tears last night. And the annual aggregation of cuttlefish near Whyalla is being celebrated over the next month with a new festival. Cuttlefest will feature displays and documentaries along with snorkelling opportunities with the famous creatures. And that's the news from across the region this Monday. Thanks for your company. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night.